It is how many days since Good died. And this is after the math. This is a vlog. So I'm just looking at you all and talking to you. Hey, how's it going? Um, a lot has happened. And I'm going to post a little bit of this on Instagram. How's it going, Instagrammers? Keep on liking the comics. And do something different because I told you so. So much has happened in the last week in Minnesota. One moment. Recorded live, and I'm killing an ant colony over there. I don't want ants in this house. That's the way it is. I don't want ants in this house. So I gotta be like ice. I gotta be like the ice agent and ice the ants with bug spray. Somewhere I had it. I had it a second ago, and things just disappear. But that's how it is. Because that's how it is. I have all kinds of things. Hand sanitizers. You need these. And yeah, this stuff I would recommend because it's better than Black Flag or Raid. So, so much has happened in Minnesota and all across the 50 states. I stayed in. I stayed in because I wanted to stay in. Now, in that time, in the few days over the weekend between Wednesday when I don't want to say her name. I was going to say Megan, not Megan. Renee Good, not Megan Good. I don't know. She's probably woke, but Megan Good probably went to the Golden Globes. But Renee Good, the white woman, she died on Wednesday. And all the evidence has come out. I've seen the footage at Target. Uh, Reportedly, the two guys that got hauled away by ICE agents were picking a fight. One was getting arrested, and the other guy was beating him up, and so he got beat down. So we got CBS local news propaganda. We got CBS evening news propaganda. David Ellison wants Warner Brothers. Donald Trump wants David Ellison to get Paramount to get Warner Brothers, even though he still has woke news, and Star Trek is still woke, and that's under his watch. So I don't know what's going on. Why doesn't he cancel Starfleet Academy? I will try to do my best to see if I can review that. If the episode 1 of Starfleet Academy is free on Paramount Plus on YouTube for a couple of days, I'll do a watch along and I'll give an honest. I will not hate watch it, but I will give an honest review. And so people have gotten assaulted by ICE. You've had Tim Walz being proven of corruption with the Somalia daycare, whatever that is, with suitcases of millions of dollars going through the airport. So Tim Walz is not going to rerun for governor. You got a corrupt mayor of Minnesota. We got corrupt people here in California. You've got people trying to obstruct ICE, which you're not allowed legally to do. Whether you're Renee Good or you're Tim Walz or you're the mayor, you're not supposed to obstruct ICE. You cannot participate, but you cannot obstruct ICE. That's illegal. You got people trying to storm the ICE facilities, but you have to have a 7-day notice. So many things are going wrong, and I'm done with that. Okay, got into a kind of a not a fight, but Linda Carter blocked me on X. She's had enough of my shit. I'm like, hey, I don't. You're not Wonder Woman. You played Wonder Woman. The real Wonder Woman is Christy Nome and also Tulsi Gabbard, which was one of your loyal fans. I'm sure you two thought alike for a little bit, and then you thought she was a Russian asset because Hillary told you to think that way. Good on you. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was that little cartoon that really triggered me. It really did. Wonder Woman would have dragged the suspect out of the house and brought him to show Renee, this is why ICE agents are in your neighborhood, and this is why you need to stop. You know, and she would have hauled her truck to the police station, and that would have been the end of it. So, Wonder Woman's about solving problems. She would have deflected the bullet that went after Renee, and she would have like tried to solve all the problems. That's what I think. I don't know. I'm just some guy that collected comic books for decades, since the late 80s and early 90s. Okay? That's just me. Aside from that, I just focused on my art. I focused on other things. What I did decide to do, and I'll show you this now, because I have no regrets. I'm not going to apologize. There were more important things than what was going on in America. So you see this? That is the true flag of Iran. Okay? The lion, the sun, and the sword. Where there's like writing on it, that's imprisoned Iran. Now, you could say this is like Iraq. Sort of, but not really, because George W. Bush dragged a war on with boots on the ground for years. To like how many years? And it took years to get people out, even when Obama was in charge. I think Trump got everybody out in his first term. But when it was boots on the ground, and yeah, they wanted to like revolutionize Iraq, but it was about the oil, and it was about lying about WMDs, which Trump pointed out in 2012, first time he was running for president. He didn't say anything offensive except what was going on with the WMDs. Yes, the news only covered the birth certificate part of the whole thing, because that's what the news does. That's what David Ellison's news does. That's what other news does. Channel 4, Channel 7, CNN, all this stuff. They do this fucking shit. They lie to you. So there's resources for Iran that the United States wants. So I'm sure there'll be a matter of low tariffs and easy trade as far as Iran goes. And you saw the posters. The women are lighting up. They're lighting up their cigarettes. Light them if you got them. They're going crazy right now. And Tara Strong, bless you, Tara Strong, for standing up for the women of Iraq. Or Iran. I'm sorry, Iran. I'm getting confused here. Standing up, bless you, Tara Strong, for standing up for the people of Iran. It needs to be a free nation. It would be nice for women to go to Iran without needing male escorts all the time. It's a horrible country right now, and it's going to take years to rebuild, but they need to be free. It kind of reminds me when Hosni Mubarak, for any of you who watch this, do you remember when Hosni Mubarak was in charge of Egypt? Yeah. And people wanted him gone. Supposedly the story was that a hot dog vendor lit himself on fire, and that triggered people to go to Egypt to say, we want you out of Egypt now. This guy had killed his predecessor in a hit. But don't worry, everybody. Hosni's okay. Yeah. And then Hosni took over for 40 years, I guess. Or 30 or 40 years. They wanted him gone. And so he finally died after being, was it imprisoned? And I remember the whole family was turning on each other. There's a docuseries called The Family. It's free on YouTube. I really encourage you to watch that. Really good stuff. There's no bigger drama than that. And I know there's probably something like that in Iran. They want to keep control. And right now, it is delicate. So until things are settled in Iran, and until I start my John Carter mini comic story strip, I put the true Iranian flag as my avatar on Instagram and on YouTube and on X. And it's going to be that way for a while, okay? Because as shitty, and I was looking at the news too, I had seen how we compared Renee Good to, what's this guy? George Floyd, right? George Floyd had a solid gold casket. Dr. King didn't have a solid gold casket. George Washington Carver didn't have a solid gold casket. Frederick Douglass didn't have a gold casket. Not even I forgot the one black dude that invented open heart surgery. He didn't get a gold casket. What did he get? Right? And this dude, who is a career criminal, whose highlights were robbing a pregnant woman at gunpoint and taking a lot of drugs. He gets a gold casket. And I do hope that the officer who was there, who was involved, I hope he gets out. I hope he gets pardoned. Because it was a load of shit. It really was. When you think about it, when the years have passed and you thought about it, it was a load of dog shit. He was stupid. He should have gone to prison, but he's dead. So George Floyd is dead. Renee Good is dead. And you got people like Mark Buffalo and Wanda Sykes all putting them on pedestals. And Ricky Gervais was wise to not go to the Golden Globes. Good. He's had enough. I've had enough. You know, as Dustin Hoffman said, it's like it's a beauty contest. What does it mean? So I am not going to apologize for pissing off Linda Carter. I am not going to apologize for pissing off members of my family because they're woke. I see leftists as bullies, people who hit people, people who beat up people and give people black eyes, and yell and scream and bully other people and intimidate other people and flex. And that's all they do. And then they tell people, don't you do what I do or I'll give you one of these. But then they can do what they want. Rules for thee, but not for me. And then when you catch them in their bullshit, they stutter and lie. Well, what about this? Or they walk away and they can't handle the fucking truth. It's like this one woman that gave a security guard. A security guard? No, it was an ICE officer. It was an immigration lawyer, and I think Tyrone was talking about it. And she walked away when they were talking about fentanyl. Well, fentanyl has to be, they talk about guns and then fentanyl. Well, fentanyl's outlawed, people still have it. You know, you can outlaw guns and people still have guns somehow. I'm sure fentanyl could be regulated if it was put in the right place. But it's not. We don't know how to regulate fentanyl properly, so it's outlawed. Cocaine, outlawed. Ecstasy, outlawed. But people will still find a way. So they're bullies, they're liars, they're bullies, they're cowards. Linda Carter did a cringe campaign for Kamala Harris. You had Ruth Connell, you had Sean Astin. It was horrible. Horrible. And nobody wanted to see Mark Hamill out in the walk of fame, walk of shame. Shame on these people. And Linda Park, too. I'll talk about Linda Park. I no longer support anything for her, but I will do something for you all for the 60th anniversary of Star Trek coming up in September. But right now, I'm not happy with the way things are. You know, and Margulites, if you're seeing this, let me say this, because I know she had written me back, the Marguerite I was talking about. She had talked about families getting ripped away from their kids by ICE agents. What about the parents of illegal kids who sent their kids to the border? Do you remember when Donald Trump said, "Who built the cages, Joe?" in the 2020 debate? Who built the cages? If you look at pictures from 2020, the kids were in cages. They look like a fucking dog pound. The parents didn't seem to care. Oh, I want my kids to have a future. Okay, bye, see ya. Sent 14-year-olds, 13, 14-year-old kids to the border to get captured and put in cages by Border Patrol agents, and some of them being Latino. Okay? That's what's happening. You know, Tom Homan, good on him. He's doing his job. But it just angers me the way things are. So I'm not going to apologize. I focus more on the things that need to get better. Iran is going to have the same problems as we are in 30 years. They'll probably have woke versus racist people, and they'll figure out what to do about that. But for right now, Iran needs to be a free nation and a free country, and they're not right now. They really do need to get free. And that's more important than any yelling or screaming or fighting or threats out there with. Don't mess with ICE agents. Let them do their job. Okay? I have told you I am 47. And 47 years ago, Iran fell under dictator power because of people like Jimmy Carter and our 47th president is taking care of the problem to free Iran. And here I am at 47. I'll be 48 in a few months. What does that tell you? For now, keep your head up, and we will solve this problem. Now go out there, YouTubers, and do something different.